Hello, 7th graders. Okay, so the books finally came in, and so we finally have been able to start with all of the things that we want to learn about this year. We're going to start with science. So what we're going to do today is we are going to have a little podcast on some of the words that we define in class, and I'm going to go over some of them. So for any of you that need review. And again, if anybody has any additional questions, feel free to email me, and I will go over any additional topics you want to talk about. And you can even request podcasts. I really enjoy doing these, and so any suggestions you guys can give me, I will make sure that I put them on, and we'll have some cool stuff. Now, eventually, we will be having internet, wireless, I'm hoping, put into the school. And so not only will I be able to have this, be able to listen to my beautiful voice, I'll also be able to post up video podcasts. I'll be able to access the internet and be able to do those while I do the podcast. So anyway, let's get started. And the first word that we're going to talk about, if you turn to page 4 of your book, you will see that the first word highlighted in yellow is system. Now a system, it is simply a group of parts that work together as a whole. The first thing that popped into my head is my favorite system of all. No, I'm just kidding. My wife would kill me if she heard me say that. Is my PS3. I like video games. Too bad. So sue me. Oh, did I put a PSE? No, sorry. It's a PS3. I like video games, and that is a system because it is a group of parts that are working together to operate to make Mr. Miles very happy. And my eyes are very messed up, and I have very cool hair. So that is simply what a system is. The Earth is a system because as we talk about it, and as you're going to see, there are many different parts, from the water to the land, to everything that's taking place underneath the land, to the sun that is millions of miles away, to the entire universe. There's a system. So you can go the Earth system, the solar system. You get it. It finally all comes together. You can have the Milky Way galaxy could be a system, and you can go on and on and on. Your body would also be a system. So that is simply a system, and I probably went too far to what you really needed to know right now. So I'm going to move on to the next thing. The next one is energy. Now, the reason I'm doing all these definitions, you may say, well, I know what energy is. The reason I do it is because sometimes we overthink things. We use our brain too hard. Sometimes we need to make things a little bit simpler. So take a second and say what energy is. Just tell me what energy is. Now, some of you might have gotten it right, because some of you may have cheated and looked in your book or remembered what we said earlier. But energy is simply the ability to do work. So next time your parents ask you to do any work, they're like, well, I don't have any energy. I have no ability to do work. That's funny. But they'll tell you to get up and do it anyway, because I'm sure you're just lying. So energy is the ability to do work. Very simple. Now the Earth itself is driven by energy. There are many, like I said before, systems that are working. The Earth is not just sitting still. It is spinning. The plates are moving. If you know anybody in the East Coast, they can tell you very well that the plates are moving. If they live in California, every single day they can tell you that the plates are moving. When we're talking about earthquakes, when we're talking about volcanoes, things are happening. We're talking about glaciers melting or glaciers moving. The Earth has a lot of energy. Now, where does Earth get its energy from? It is huge. We get our energy from food, but where's the Earth getting it from? 2 main sources. I'm talking about, these are pretty much it. You have the sun, and the sun gets off heat. And you have the Earth itself. From the inside, it gives off heat from the core. As the Earth cools, it gives energy to the rest of the Earth. That's pretty cool. Read in your book, page 5. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is actually 4 things. They are the spheres. So we have the atmosphere. I like saying it like that. Atmosphere. We have the geosphere. We have the hydrosphere. And the biosphere. Alright, so let's do this really simply. Let's make sure that we always remember what all these different spheres are. This should be really, really easy. Alright, so the atmosphere. Let's break it down. Sphere, 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 and sphere. Sphere means what? It's like a circle. It's like a ball. A ball would be a sphere. What else would be a sphere? Earth is a sphere. So all these are dealing with Earth. They're all spheres. Now atmosphere, everyone knows what atmosphere is. I sure hope you know what atmosphere is. When we look at this, you know it has to do with weather. This is the layer of Earth where all our weather's taking place, where we're having our storms, where we're having all the wonderful, lovely lightning. If you ever be able to get to see a really good storm, what you want to do is you want to go head out east during the springtime. Oh my gosh, the storms there are so awesome. I hear Utah has some pretty good lightning storms around then and also in the fall. I've actually never seen one of those, but I grew up in Chicago and we'd actually go tornado chasing, and so we got to see the atmosphere at work. The next one is geo. Has anybody ever heard of a geode? Also in Illinois, I used to be able to catch these. If you look on the cover of your book, you have a picture of a beautiful geode. Geo deals with the rocks. It is the easy way to think of it. And it's the Earth's mass. And it's made up of 3 parts. You have a metal core, a solid middle layer, and a rocky outer layer. So you have the metal core, the solid middle layer, and then the rocky outer layer. And again, all this can be found on page 6 and 7. Now the next one is hydrosphere. And you know what hydro is? It means water. So hydrosphere is the water on the Earth. So that's all the water. And as you know, water makes up a lot of the Earth. When it comes to the Earth's surface, guess what covers the most? Water does, more than land. So you have the hydrosphere. And the last one is biosphere. Bio means what? Life. So it's all the life that exists on Earth. So where is the layers? So it's not going to be, this is not going to be the biosphere in there. I don't know. Maybe someday we'll find out that certain things are living in the core. But so far, I'm guessing not. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of heat. But we could be surprised. The biosphere right now, where's our biosphere? Well, it's right on the surface of the Earth in Las Vegas. So you have the life, the water, the mass of the Earth. You know, you have the interior, you know, the middle layer, rocky outer layer. You have the atmosphere. That's where all the weather's taking place. And so that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple stuff. But the really cool thing is if you go in your book, it reads a little bit more into that. And with especially the spheres, I do have some additional books. So again, if you ever want to check any books out, just let me know and you can read up on some really cool stuff. And I can even guide you to some really cool websites if you think that books are lame and you'd rather see certain things on the internet. Now the last 2 things we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about forces. So we're going to talk about constructive and destructive. So constructive, easy to remember. Think of construction. See how I did that? Yeah, construction. So anyway, so you have constructive forces. Constructive forces are anything that, like construction, build. So what gets built on the Earth? Oh, I can't think of anything that could possibly get built on the Earth. Mountains. Again, if you've ever been to Utah, or if you're heading to Utah and you go through that amazing, gorgeous pass that winds around, you get to see mountains. I grew up in Illinois. So I don't really see a lot of mountains. We used to go snowboarding on, it used to be a garbage dump, and so it made a big hill, a big garbage hill. But you go to Utah, you go to places in Idaho, you can go out east and you can see mountains, and that's a constructive force. It's the Earth pushing itself together, and then when they meet each other, they go up to form a mountain. Now, destructive force. Now, first thing that may pop in your head is your 3-year-old brother, who is a terrible destructive force, as your mom always tells you, as he tears through the kitchen, destroying absolutely everything. No, the destructive forces we're talking about is we're talking about anything that wears down land masses. You can have ice, you can have rain, you can have wind, you can just have water as it flows through. If anybody's ever been to Mammoth Caves, oh, they are beautiful and they are gorgeous. And they're huge caverns that you can go through. And you know what they were carved with? They were carved with water. There's a huge open tunnel that we walked through that was about the size of the classroom, and it went all the way down. And that was carved by running water. Water is an extremely powerful destructive force. And also, you should be familiar with this word, erosion. And erosion is that water. So let's say you have this landmass, and you have water pouring down. It's going to go this way. Well, eventually this landmass is going to get worn down more and more and more. Okay, does that make sense? So those are the definitions. Those are the words that we're going over. Again, if you have anything additional, I kept it kind of brief because YouTube doesn't let you record that long of videos. If you have any questions or have any requests for additional podcasts, like I said, let me know. I will put it up there. All right? So other than that, you guys have a great day. I hope this podcast was good, and I hope I'm getting better at it. So you guys take care, and I will talk to you later. Bye.